In this video, we will discuss what is inverse proportion. Inverse proportion is a relation in which one quantity increases by decreasing the other quantity and same quantity decreases by increasing the other quantity. To understand what is inverse proportion, let's consider that a woman's factory is 100 km away from her house. She can travel this distance in different times by changing the speed of her car. This table is showing different speeds and time of a car. From this table, we can observe that by increasing the speed of the car, the traveling time is decreased. So we can say that the time is inversely proportional to the speed, and such proportion is called inverse proportion. See an example. A project can be completed by 150 workers in 40 days, but project manager brought 30 more workers after 16 days. In how many days will the remaining work be finished? We can clearly examine that the number of workers is inversely proportional to the number of working days, since by increasing the number of workers, the number of days in which the work will be finished will be decreased. Initially, it is given that the number of workers is 150 and 150 workers can finish their work in 40 days. And since the project manager brought 30 more workers after 16 days, so the remaining days are 40 minus 16, that is 24 days. And total workers will be 150 plus 30, which is equal to 180. Now, suppose that 180 workers will finish work in X days. Here we have written workers and days. 150 workers were working on the project for 24 days, and after that the number of workers were increased to 180. And we have to find the number of days that 180 workers will take to finish their work. So we have represented the number of days by X, since we have to find them. As we have discussed earlier that number of workers is inversely proportional to the number of working days, and we represent the quantities in inverse proportion as one quantity is represented by downward arrow and the other one is represented by upward arrow in inverse proportion. And these quantities are written by watching the direction of arrow. As the number of workers, it will be written as 150 divided by 180 by seeing the direction of arrow, equal to number of days. Since the arrow is from downward to upward, so we will write X by 24. So it means that the quantity where the tail of the arrow is written as numerator, and where the head of arrow is, that quantity is written as the denominator. By cross multiplying, we get 150 multiplied by 24 equal to X multiplied by 180. Now dividing both sides by 180, we get X equal to 150 multiplied by 24 divided by 180. From here we get X is equal to 20. From here we get that 180 workers will finish work in 20 days.